Okay, one hottie you unanimously vote for.
All of us
Milan
together.
Soman.
Milan Soman, Prateek Babbar, all of the men on our show, Neil Bopalam.
Well, hello and welcome to Good Times, the new gang of four. They are bold, beautiful, and unapologetic. Can I say that?
Completely.
We are apologetic about things that we really need to be about, not the unnecessary stuff.
And so, since you're so candid about love, sex, and no dhoka with 4 shots, right?
Maybe.
Well, you
Dhoka.
see the show and then decide if there's dhoka or not.
It's about
Oh,
life,
sure.
so it's everything that happens
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
life.
it's a
It's
lot
slice
of,
of life,
there's
yeah.
also a lot of heartbreak and
A lot of
this.
hardships
So, yeah,
are
sure.
faced, yeah.
Everything that is normally happening to people
Yeah.
and women.
So, which amongst the 4 of you is the kind who will go and say 4 more shots?
I think me and Bani and Sayani.
But she was the one who
Thanks.
raised her hand
Yeah,
first.
but
No,
But
out
she's
of the
one
4
who
of
drinks
us,
them, we could order them. We'd
Yeah.
be like,
like,
Yeah, we'd
Four more
order
shots,
it
please.
for her. She'll be the one
the
gulping
drinker
them
would
down.
be
Yeah.
Sayani.
hey, Maanvi also will gulp down for shots.
Even I can do that once in a
4
while.
shots me, I will be done.
No, I can down shots.
So, when they came with you, came to you girls with this show, so was it an instant yes from all of you?
From me, yes.
Not from me.
For me, also yes.
And I was also the first one to say yes. I was the
yeah,
first one who was approached and I said yes.
A lot of the character was actually written with Bani in mind.
Yeah, they
Like
met
her
me,
character.
then they extensively wrote more about Umang Singh as, like from me, rooted from me. Yeah.
So a lot of, I mean, Bani in real life inspired a lot of what you see Umang Singh on screen, which is quite a feet to have, I feel, when characters are written for you, keeping you in mind.
For me, sorry, are you continuing?
Yes. No, actually, they came to me with another part initially, and then obviously
Whose
I
part was that?
it was actually a part that Amrita Puri plays later. It was part of Kavya, Anjana's
track.
part.
Meri Sautan.
Iski Sautan.
Oh,
And then, it
That
sort
would
of
be
didn't make
perfect.
sense to me at that point because I was like, it's a show with 4 female protagonists, then, why should I be doing? And they were like, yeah, absolutely. You can physically play only Damini and we are looking at a star to sort of, whatever. It was really, I was ecstatic, honestly, because when I had read the script earlier, secretly I was like, I really wanted to play Damini. And because it's really one of the most author-back, most layered, detailed parts that I had read in a while, and also I fell in love with the script really. So when Damini came my way, I was like, man, I have to move everything aside and make sure I have the dates and the time to sort of do the show.
So for me, it
Yeah.
was not an
very
instant.
unlike the characters I've seen you portray so far.
That's the idea.
Oh.
It was an instant yes for me. A couple of reasons why. First was I wasn't. The show for me was very. It was very aspirational in the sense that, all right, as makers, you are trying to, you are aspiring to make a show which looks like this. Okay, to begin with, which for me is like, I don't know how capable we are in India to sort of really create shows like these and really present them in the way they actually deserve to be presented. That was first. Second was playing a mother. Bollywood. Do I want to go down that road? Because I know how people are. I know how people think and whatever. So that was another second apprehension, and pretty much that, yeah. I think so. These two things, and I'm like, and the sex scenes. Like I was like, it's a very tricky space to actually, operate in. And again, I don't want it to look what we do in Bollywood. I want it to look.
The way you feel like it should
Firstly,
look,
it has to really make sense in the script and not just done for the heck of it. Secondly, you have to really shoot it well, execute it extremely well to make it look like something which is international, something which is done well, So these 3 things, and one by one they were all put to rest, and I was like, now let's do it.
That
yeah,
it
please
wasn't
do,
an
sorry.
instant yes for me either. No, so again, similar to what Kirti said, my reservations were one about the sex scenes. And actually, it was a very trying time for me because I was genuinely. Usually, I make my decisions pretty fast.
Yeah.
I mean, at least I know what it's going to be, whether I say it later or not. This visual language is something we've grown up watching. Like I've grown up watching Gossip Girl, The OC, and Sex and the City, and Friends, and all these shows. So I was like, I want to do something like this. But there was a huge part of me which was very scared about the sex scenes because I had never done anything like that. I didn't even know if I could pull those off. I didn't know if they could pull it off. Sure about the body shaming part of it because I felt I firmly stand against body shaming and for body positivity. And there was, I felt that there was a lot of shaming in that.
And since you've done roadies too, you're somebody who's known to speak her mind. So was Umang was written with you in mind? Did you relate to that character also at any level?
Completely. Like it was mirrored me in a lot of ways. Her personality along with mine. I mean, there's a lot of things that she has done, decisions she's made that I would never do in my own personal life, obviously. And there are certain things, the way she processes things are very different from the way I process things. But for the majority, for sure, I can completely relate to her, and especially in terms of how she views people and relationships and love and all of that, and the passion with which she really wants to just be with the people that she loves, and doesn't understand why it's so difficult and hard for other people to just love people the way she loves them. She's just like, she doesn't get it. And she's worked really hard to come to that awareness and that understanding for herself, and she refuses to go back,
and
basically,
let go of that.
Yeah.
Okay, recently we saw a movie like Veeredi Wedding, which was also about 4 women dealing with sexuality. There was patriarchy here, but here whatever little I could see, was not there addressing issues about patriarchy, but it's basically stressing about the way their life is. But what is different about this particular show in comparison to what we've seen so far?
Most portrayal of women in especially Bollywood has been sort of leaning towards stereotypes.
Yeah.
You're either they're virginal and all white, or they are the vamps and all black and trying to, we're conniving and like weird creatures. But in real life, women like you, me, all of us, every woman that we've come across are flawed, are imperfect, are complex, but are grey. So I think the motive behind the show and how it was written and how the sort of I think the writers and makers wanted to make a story and say a story about female friendships and sisterhood and bonding, and also sort of represent real, authentic, genuine women. When it comes to Veeredi Wedding, obviously there is it's a natural comparison because again there are 4 girls and all of that.
And it's recent.
And it's recent,
and the characters seemed a little similar,
Yeah, but every time that you are showing women who can think for themselves and has a mind of have a mind of their own, who can make their life choices, are agents for their own life choices and changes, you are constantly also going against patriarchy in a way.
Yeah.
So in that way, I think there is a similarity, and we hate the word bold.
Oh.
I feel every time the word bold is used, it's actually to talk about women who have a mind of their own.
Bold or feminist.
But it is really not that. It is talking about real people, and what they stand for, and their complexities and issues and everything that sort of a girl of today faces.
One of my favorite things about this show, because I haven't personally seen a property like this on Indian television, any viewing platform to date, which is that also because I'm a part of it, which is like massive because I'm just like, I don't think I'm the most, the most conventionally commercial choice for a show or like a movie. Like I'm not the first name that's going to come to your mind because I have a very strong look, I have a strong vibe to me or whatever, strong personality, whatever the hell it is. I don't know, man, they keep telling me these things and I'm like, aight. But like, I just feel like for the fact that someone like me is sitting here and being interviewed for a show that I have done with 3 other amazing actors, that for me speaks volumes in its own. And then on the other hand, the fact that all of our characters, you get to see them as whole beings, which means you don't just get to see, it's not an Instagram highlight reel, you don't just get to see like the good times of it,
we're on NDTV.
You get to see every single aspect. You get to see these characters, like, and these are kind of shows that I love to watch shit like this, where you see characters in like their prime, you know, and they're shining and stuff, and then you see them completely broken down and heartbroken and like destroyed and insecure and all of that, and how do they get up after that? Like that's the stuff that I love to watch, you know, because I'm like, yeah, that's real now. Don't just show me some pretty stuff and I put a bow on it and be like, ah, there you go, that's like an amazing project. And I'm like, no, I want to delve into an actual layer of it. I want to dig deeper. I want to be able to express an emotion that I have felt, that I know other people have felt. Because off the bat, when you meet people, it's not always like you talk heart to heart about, oh man, you know, like this happened and it was like, it moved me, and you know, you don't have that sincerity and rawness when you speak to people generally on like a first basis, like, you know, when you just meet them. But this show will give you that, like, at least that's how I felt with my character as well. Like that's how their friendship is so solid as well, because they don't have any barriers, there's no filters, they are there and they are raw, and that interaction, that's exactly what we're like striving to do with that. That's why this show is so different and you haven't seen anything like it.
Safe space.
Safe space. That's my favorite one.
Also, Pooja, you know, we are often asked as actors, you know, how is it different between like a series and a film, you know?
Yeah, and in the digital space,
in the
it's
digital
much
and
more.
so there are two things to this, right? As actors, your constant need almost and effort is to, you know, really portray a character and go to the depth and really explore things that you haven't before and really flesh it out and really create a graph and, you know, etch it. That always actually doesn't happen in films, because obviously you have these days 90 minutes or you know, to 2 hours, and not every single character
Makes it,
actually has you know, the time and to actually create a graph. With a show like this, you can actually do that. You know, you have 4 girls and you can actually delve deeper into every single complexity and emotion that all 4 girls go through. And I think that's a huge
And take it all
boon.
to fruition, you know, take it
Fruition.
all to
It's not
completion.
really on the surface level, right? Also, secondly, to explore different kinds of characters, you know, because there are so many stories to tell, there are so many characters to explore. It always doesn't happen in the film format, because ultimately you're looking at the business model and, you know, you have to take certain people, you know, it's star driven. When it comes to Bollywood, also the stories are a little more safe, you know. But in a show like this, you are able to do that. You can actually delve deeper and tell stories that you wouldn't probably be able to otherwise. So I think it's this kind of a show is actually perfect for the OTT sort of platform.
And she's the
Kirti
quietest.
also.
Why so?
Because everyone's talking and someone
Has to listen.
has to listen, and I don't need to talk because they are making pretty much the same points that I would make. So
But the naysayers.
that's the benefit of having 4 people, because you really don't have to talk all
But
the
what,
time.
what was it like on the sets? Who was the most talkative? And who
It was
the most-
precisely like this.
It was
Maanvi,
exactly like
Gagroo.
this. It was
Maanvi
exactly
was
like this.
Maanvi is the most talkative.
Maanvi
I
and
have
Sayani
not
are
figured
at
out.
par with
I have
each
not
other.
figured out the secret of her energy that she
Yeah.
carries. Like, she can talk non-stop from the moment she wakes up.
Yes,
Good
so many
morning
shots
and
with
good night.
Yeah.
So she's the one who actually takes the 4 shots.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is.
She's just
She's
she has so much stamina.
Yeah, the energy is like
Thanks,
on
guys.
another level.
But any character out of the 4 of you that you actually felt was, hey, that's, you are Umang, but amongst the 3 of you, you felt maybe I relate to her more than I relate to mine. Was that?
Well, I think the characters are so different that we relate to different aspects of each other's character. But if I had to choose which is the character I would like to play, like, I think Bani's would be the one that I would really choose. But having said that, I think all the 4 characters are so interesting, so different, that I wish I played like
all of them are
I
different.
played all of them in the same. Imagine Kirti playing Siddhi, Kirti playing so much fun.
I guess we have a bit of everyone in us,
Yeah.
but the naysayers would say that we now on Indian TV, the OTT platform, are trying too hard. What would you like to say to them?
I don't think we're trying hard enough. Who are these people who are trying so hard? Where are these people? I don't see them.
Can't do elsewhere. There's a lot of things that you can't show probably in films, but you can here. You have the platform. You also have really credible people making it.
Also because, you know, when you say like there are these people who say they're trying too hard, it's basically coming from people who look at people who are putting in quite a lot of effort, and they themselves are feeling complacent and lazy about it. And that's why I just said that, which is about, you guys, there's nothing wrong with effort and there's nothing wrong with trying too hard. And because only when you try
least
too
we are
hard
trying.
will you be able to achieve what you want to achieve. And there was one other thing that I wanted to say about when you were asking about did you want to play one of the other characters or anything. The one thing that I really appreciated about this show was that it showed, like especially Kirti's character, about being a single mother who is divorced and is dealing with this whole process of how to let go of the only lover, the husband, the partner that she has had. Because my mother was a single mother, so I grew up watching her and was very aware of the fact that there were so many things that she had sacrificed for me and my sister. And I always wondered, like, you see all these films, and I grew up with this huge thing of wanting to always have like a family and where's my father and all of that shit. The point of this is simply to say that it would have been awesome to have also had something in the media, to have had another avenue, to see another woman who is like my mother and understood her better. So, because there was none of that. You only see like, there's no representation of that. And I thought that was really important to have a character like hers. And I don't think I told her that, so, but there you go.
Yeah, she hasn't actually.
And also the same thing with Maanvi. I've had so many cousins who are like from Delhi, who are like just, they've grown up and all they want to do is get married, man. Like, I've been discussing their trousseaux with them since like I don't know how many years. I'm like, what even is a trousseau? I never even knew what that word meant, And I was like, oh, all right, cool. That's cool. That's what you want to do. And it was so bizarre to me that there were these girls who were groomed.
And not out of choice. I mean,
No,
it's okay if they
these
wanna do
girls,
it out of choice,
these
they
girls
will.
love it.
No, but it's because
Which is
that's
why
what's been told to them.
that's the
and
only
what
thing
they
they
see
know.
around them.
And then I met them and I was like, I have nothing to say to them because I feel like I'm going to corrupt you by giving you an actual thought which is original that you've never heard before. So even that way, Maanvi's character to me, I was just like, dude, that's so important for people to see this and understand that maybe your daughter doesn't actually want, and because you live so in denial about not wanting to see things that make you uncomfortable, and the place we do it the most is within our own households.
Yeah, and we
So,
resist anything which is different from what we think or
Always,
we've
or looks
wanted
different,
or
sounds
something.
different or
Also,
anything like that.
coming back to the naysayers, there will always be a section of society which will not understand the other part in terms of just visual imagery or even in terms of the universe that you create. But we can't, if we try to play to the gallery, to the majority, then we'll only have a certain type of stories. We will always, all the stories will be set in Indian mainland, like heartland, that's where
Heartless seems to be far more bolder.
yeah, exactly. But we don't see those stories, and urban metros इसमें बदनाम हो गई है,
सही
and,
में.
although it's not the
You can't
case.
please everybody, and you're making some sort of art on cinema.
Coming to Kirti also, अब आपको बॉलीवुड भी आप दूसरे नजरिए से देखें.
I
अच्छा है.
Couldn't care less.
Yeah, I could care less actually. I think I'm kind of rising above the whole thing of किस नजरिए से मुझे देखेंगी. Like it almost doesn't
अब
matter.
actually वो दिन गए जब stereotyped हो गए
हाँ, and
थे. ऐसे ही
I
role.
would
You did a
rather
thing,
be
you
the
played
I would
Indian.
rather be the person who brings the change that she talks about than just talking about it. So I'll do what I need to do for my own sake, to be a better person, to be a better actor, and if that changes anything for anybody, for
Great,
it's great. Like
And if
I
not,
wish
then whatever.
this makes people more comfortable with the idea of everything.
So when I saw the trailer, I did a double take. I thought, that's her?
Oh my God!
That's her? Okay, now before we wrap up, a quick rapid fire. Body shots or shots on the house?
Oh, body shots or shots? I just want to say body shots because it was body. I was like, हाँ भाई body बनाते हैं. Body shot बोल दिया मैंने जब.
Shots on the house.
That's me.
Body shots.
Shots on the house.
Breakfast with Bay or brunch with the BFFs?
Brunch with
I
BFFs.
love breakfast, yeah.
Poor बेचारा.
Brunch.
Brunch. I think Maanvi and my
I'm
choices.
brekkie.
Breakfast, okay. Chalo, brunch gaya. Boys who run or boys who lift weights? I think
Boys who lift weights. But they should also be running in the morning.
Boys who
and
run.
doing-
Boys who
Boys
crack
who run.
good jokes.
No, answer the
Boys
question.
who
only.
run, yeah.
Boys who
She's
run.
the only one who likes boys
Yeah.
who do weights.
I don't like muscular men.
I love muscular man. I love muscular everything.
A cocktail you can drink a gallon of.
Oh, something with weed.
Or
Whiskey sour.
okay. I think sangria.
Sangria, or I was going to say cosmopolitan.
Okay. What
I
about
said something with wheatgrass in it, which obviously would not have
wheatgrass or whey
alcohol.
protein?
Or julep.
It's a mocktail.
Basically.
Mint julep. Also.
Okay, one hottie you unanimously vote for.
All of us
Milan
together.
Soman.
Milan Soman, Pratik Babbar. All of the men on our show, Neil Bopalam,
Yeah.
Sahil.
Kirti,
In the show or otherwise?
Otherwise.
Otherwise, yeah. I think my husband, Sahil.
Aww.
Come on, you guys, you can guys.
Yeah, of
Sahil,
course.
He's
Sahil.
a
Yeah.
hottie.
Okay. One cardinal sin you're guilty of.
All the 7. I'm guilty of all the 7s.
Sins.
All of them.
Yeah, I have all the vices. Cardinal sin.
What are
is,
the?
is
I don't
eating
even know
chocolate
the
a
words.
cardinal
Greed.
sin?
Gluttony, no.
Is
And-
eating
Gluttony,
a cardinal
greed,
sin?
lust.
Yeah, right?
Well, in this
What
day
is
and
sloth?
age, it is a cardinal
No,
sin.
no, I only
Sloth.
live to eat.
Sloth.
Yeah.
What other two are there?
Greed, gluttony,
lust.
sloth,
Lust.
envy, and what's the 5th one? 6th.
Jealous? No, envy is jealousy.
Envy, jealousy.
Don't know all of them only.
Sloth bola na? Sloth.
5, 7.
Seven.
There are 7.
7.
But I think we only got
missed out
6 so
one.
far.
We have missed out one. Okay,
Anyway,
doesn't matter.
That's
Give
not
up
gluttony.
sugar.
Gluttony.
Give up sugar or delete your Instagram account.
I don't even eat sugar, so Instagram would
She's
be it.
anyway deleted.
I
sugar
don't really
from
want
her
to
life.
remove my
I
Instagram.
actually have
now.
done both.
Done with it.
Given
Yeah.
up sugar and deleted my
She's
Instagram
off
account.
Insta. She's
Yeah.
off social.
So, yeah, never giving up sugar.
Okay.
Trying to give up sugar constantly.
God, that's the bane of all our lives. What would you do if you and your bestie have a thing for the same guy?
Can never.
Yeah.
Let's have a lift off. Just kidding. I just felt like coinciding my answers.
I will let her take the first choice. I'm like, okay. Chal yaar, tu kar le.
No, I'll actually give the choice to the guy. Ki chal tu bata.
Yeah, why be with somebody who doesn't want to be with you, bro?
I'm not
Yeah.
having
None of
any
my
hard
besties have
feelings
had
with
like a
my
thing.
bestie.
It's never a thing,
Actually,
you
that
know.
never
it's-
happened.
Yeah,
Yeah,
guys,
it's
it's a
just
hypothetical
hypothetical.
question. Okay.
Yeah, never.
A message for your ex.
Message from my ex.
Good riddance.
Thank you so much for being a part of my life and making me the person I am today. Helping, contributing to the person I am today.
And
4
thank you
shots
for
to
your
you.
time.
Yeah.
4 shots to you.
Oh dear.
What about you?
Yeah, just thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah,
Mm.
thank you and
Even if I wasn't thankful then, I'm thankful now. So
Yeah.
yeah, and thank you for coming into my life and giving me the experience and the time we
Yeah,
had.
for
You
that
know, one
experience.
cherishes.
ये इतना
You can
good
always
हो
serve him a margarita with a straw.
Of course. Also.
And just to the ex, why?
Anyway, Sar, since you're
Why did
speaking,
you leave there?
Oh, why did you ever? Why were you
X equals question mark still to this day. What?
okay, since you're speaking to good times, your idea for good time.
Some really good sushi right about now.
Yeah.
I think just traveling for me.
yeah.
Traveling and
Traveling.
walking around and eating amazing food.
Ah, that sounds like me.
Yeah.
That should be
Yeah.
a plan with 4 shots.
Yes.
Anyway, thank you, girls, and all
Thank
the
you,
very
Pooja.
best. May the 4 shots become 8.
Thank you. Watch the show.
Will
Watch
do.
the show, guys, and tell
And
us what
watch
you
the
think.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you,
Pooja.
thank you,
Thanks
thank
so
you.
much.